Hello friends and welcome to the Spin on Classical Music studio. My name is Henry and Spin on Classical Music is doing a 6-week summer break. Yeah! And during that time we are providing you with very short stories every week as usual on Friday, and we're presenting some very interesting and sometimes bizarre insights and treasures from the Karajan archive in Salzburg. So let's start with the first episode out of 6 summer break episodes. The show with a fresh perspective on classical music. Be surprised, be entertained, spin on classical music. And to start this series now, I have the pleasure to introduce you to the first treasure, which is a very old and rare photograph of Herbert von Karajan shoveling snow in front of his birthhouse in Salzburg. And speaking about his birthhouse, I have another very interesting treasure, which is his original birth certificate. And actually it's a copy from 1961, and the full name of Karajan was Herbert Adolf Ernst Karajan. Did you know that? Well, at least it's a proof that Karajan exists. And by the way, another very interesting fact is, in Salzburg there's a so-called birthhouse of Karajan. But actually, if you take a look in this birth certificate, you can see that he was born in the Franz-Josef-Straße 11, which was back then a so-called birthhouse. So actually, the original birthhouse here in Salzburg is not his birthhouse. Another proof that Karajan really existed is we have his original traveling passport here. It was originally issued in 1973 and multiple times extended until 1988, so it lasted very long. And if you go through the passport, you can see stamps, entry stamps from different countries, from all over the world, all the concert travels he did during his career. And you can see, for example, Japan, USA, Soviet Union, GDR, even Iran, and finally a lot of entry stamps from Nizza. And the reason for that was because he had a wife, Herbert von Karajan, and she was originally born nearby Nizza, and both had a house in Saint-Tropez. So for the next treasure we are coming to the more, let's say, bizarre stuff. We have the very first haircut of the young Herbert von Karajan when he was only 2 years old. It was not uncommon in those times that parents kept the very first haircut, at least a little bit of the hairs. Even my parents stored some of my first hairs in my photo album at home. And now guys, little trigger warning. This is the very last item for this episode. We have the original baby teeth of Karajan here. It was also very common back in those days that parents also kept the first baby teeth, at least a few of them. And I'm pretty sure that this is also something that some of you might relate with, because you might also have your own baby teeth still somewhere. Now, closing this episode, let's get serious again. And maybe also play some music. The track I've chosen for you is Eine kleine Nachtmusik, because it's somehow for me related with the delightful, playful life in general. And the recording we are listening to is from 1981 together with the Berlin Philharmonics. And now jump into the first track by clicking on the link in the show notes. And if you're watching this on Instagram right now, then just switch over to the bio and follow the link there. Thank you for this week and talk to you next week. Have a nice summer.